Hello, hello, hello. You're now tuned in to another episode of a Melanated Hypothesis podcast. It's a mouthful. I know. I know. I know. I'm your host, ToriV, the compassion coach, and we are building and rebuilding our minds so that we can become who we are destined to be. Okay? So let's get into it because I've been thinking. And on this journey, we're building in real time. Like it's something going on every moment. You feel what I'm saying? Like every level, there's always going to be something. Something. Okay. I've had loss of a child. I've had loss of a love, loss of a job, loss of an old life, you know, loss of material things, um, loss of connections, loss of attachments. I've had loss, right? I'm grateful for all of them. I could have had even more losses. I'm great financial losses, all types of stuff, all kinds of losses we have, right? I'm grateful for all of them. Why? Because in the grand scheme of things, I'm always looking at the bigger picture. The losses make us better. They teach us something. The failures, it's data in that. It teaches us something. The losses has data too. It teaches us something about ourselves. How a how how much do we have the ability to take this loss and turn it into something? Turn our pains into passions. Turn our loved ones into memories. Turn our mistakes into millions. Like how are we able to, is it possible? First of all, is it possible? I believe so. But how are we able to do that? So I wrote down some notes. I got right here real quick because I was just thinking. So I was just like, let me see. And so today is April 25th, and it would have been my daughter Lilah's due date. So she would have been born around this time. But preeclampsia tried to steal my baby, okay? It's like, when I think about it, it's like, what's the movie for Color Girls? When she like, I forget what she said. Something almost walked off with my joy. Like, just same vibes. And I always say that because it happened so fast. It was such a whirlwind. So much happened in that time. So much was lost, right? So much was lost because at first I felt like, oh, okay, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. Okay, but I'm pregnant. Like, like right. And then it was like, okay, no, this is lessons. This is what, but it took half the pregnancy to get there. I was still like, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. Hey, I look pregnant. I'm pregnant. Just say I'm pregnant. Hey doctor, I'm pregnant. Like still just no, I was very official. I found out really early. And it was good bad. Like it was like my body was rejecting. I don't know what's going on. Okay. I really don't. But it was a struggle the whole time. And then it got chill. It was like a silent before the storm. And then boom. So lost. But in the beginning of that, I was losing the nomad life I had. I felt like, oh man, I'm on the road, I'm doing things. And then I have this person that I'm with. I don't know if we're in the same place. I don't feel like we're in the same place. I felt like trapped, right? Like I like this no, this is not right. Like right, I was and that speaks to how I felt or where my mind was, where my awareness was at that time because I was in a situation where I was devaluing myself by staying in that situation, right? But I was afraid of the loss, right? I was letting that loss that I would experience by leaving the situation distract me from the bigger picture. So I didn't want to leave. I kept taking, this is I mean, it was just like a spectacle. I don't know. This is really, this is what's going, and it wasn't until I had this bigger loss that I could even see how irrelevant that other loss would be, right? But then this bigger loss came, and it's like, okay, I, you know, I gotta find a way to flip this. Like this, if everything happens for a reason, why would this be any different, right? And so I'm like, okay, there needs to be a point to this loss. I can't have this loss and then continue on the path of devaluing myself. I have to look at this loss and see what I can get from it in an optimistic way. How can I see? And so I'm a big, coincident type of girl. So 12, I actually had her. I pushed her out on December 12th, 12/12. My birthday is 21. So in my head, that meant there would be no her without me. And I wasn't taking care of myself, right? Mind, body, and spirit, right? And so I needed to connect to self, right? In order to do that and to really soften myself down enough and get into my feminine energy enough to care for myself in that way, I had to start with self-compassion. Because who wants to come to the realization that you are devaluing yourself? Like the loss of feeling like I'm in control when I'm really not. Like that's a loss of identity, right? And I didn't necessarily have my identity in that, but how many of us put our identity in something, right? For the longest time, I was the mail carrier. I am the mail carrier, but then I wasn't the mail carrier, and I still love all mail carriers. Like I can hear it. I can hear a mail truck coming from a mile. I don't even, I know that sound, like that room, I know that. I hear it. I hear it everywhere, okay? I see open mailboxes. I notice mail carrier stuff, all right? Just for life, baby, okay? But I don't identify as a mail carrier. Like, I'm not a postal worker. I'm not, you get what I'm saying? Like, so when I left, I didn't feel lost. I felt loss of connection. I did feel lost. I felt loss of connection, but I didn't feel loss of identity, is what I'm trying to say, right? So sometimes we put our identity in something. You know, I was just coming to terms with the fact that, okay, I'm gonna be a mother. Like I always call myself Big Mama. Like, all right, this gonna be good. And then it was like, just gonna snatch that from me real quick. Oh, why? Oh, okay. So does it just mean I'm still a mom or right? And so it's just like, no, it's in my spirit. Like I feel that. Like I'm a mom regardless, but my identity is not stuck in that. Like I pushed that baby out. Okay. I was looking up at the light. It was two lights off and a light on. And I saw her come out. And it was like, you feel me? So like can nobody tell me anything about that, right? That loss, there was a greater purpose in that loss. I didn't lose my identity in that loss. So so attack detaching my identity from that loss, I had to have self-compassion. Whatever loss it is, self-compassion. To know that it's okay. To know that there is something bigger than me. Like I am a beautiful piece of a masterpiece. And so not having to know it all, lost. Sometimes you have control, you feel like you know it all, everything is predictable, and then lost. And it's like, okay, no, today is what? It's just, you just off, right? Or you get super distracted, but that's still a form of being off because that's not normally you, right? Sometimes we have a working depression where it's like, it's a coping mechanism, essentially, where you cope by working, right? But you're not in your right frame of mind in that point. You're not taking care of yourself at that point. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're lost in this identity of work, and taking that away, seeing yourself outside of the valuable thing, the thing that society says is valuable. That's what I mean by taking, like not having your identity stuck in one thing. I used to feel like, oh, if I work hard, if I do this, if I do that, then I'll be valuable and important. That's not always the case. I want to do valuable things, and I want to bring valuable opportunities. I always want to bring value, but I want it to be of me, not the work that I do. I don't want it to have to, like, I don't have to do anything to bring the value. It's of me. And I'm trying to give an example because it sounds kind of like what? So, like, my mind is my greatest weapon. So I am the value. Like me being in the room, the energy that I bring, I am the value. The downloads that I have, the ideas that I have, I am the value. The thing that I do so well, right? Whatever that thing is for you, whatever it is, I am the value. And so I hold this circle of the thing that I do. And now I can dibble and dab and a whole bunch of stuff. And, we got triple, double threats and quadruple threats and all different things. But it's usually something that you love, that you do really well, something that is of you, right? And like, whatever it is, that is the value. Like, you are the value. The thing that is just innate about us is the value, but we got to tap into that value and start to know self. So how do we know self? How do we tap into these things? I personally think it's about knowing when to heal, knowing when to start to break away at the statute, the conditions, you know, just conditions. Okay, the conditions of things that people put on us, the society put on us, caregivers put on us, our friends put on us, the world put on us, period. These things are things that we have to chip away at and see who truly is there, see our true value. And sometimes these things add to our value, but we don't really know until we start to dig into self and start to put that value, I don't want to say to work, but to use. That's a good word. Okay, yeah. So we start putting that value to use. Okay, so child, I'm getting off track. And so I be wondering, you know what? Lord, speak through me. I just ask that you speak through me, and I ask that you bless all hearts, because there's a message that I know we discussed, and I be all over the place, honey. So use me. Just just gonna put me to the side, come through. Because I appreciate you. Yes. Thank you to the most high. All right. So y'all in my business. Okay, because listen, all right. I had wrote on this paper, guilt builds growth. So I'm gonna tell you right now, so I can start with it. Guilt builds growth. No, it don't. Guilt blocks growth. Guilt blocks growth. Yes. Okay, I wrote guilt builds growth. Okay. Guilt blocks growth. Yes. Because if we're constantly guilty, if we're constantly feeling ashamed of something, putting ourselves down, thinking the other world or people of the world are putting us down, it almost paralyzes us. It keeps us in a loop. I call it the narcissistic loop, where we're just focused on self and, oh, I did this, and, oh, I can't do this. And, we're just constantly putting ourselves down. We start, stop, because in our mind, we're putting ourselves down. We're constantly feeling not good enough, and we're putting ourselves down. I'm sitting at this gas station, y'all, and I'm just wondering, why are all these people out here? Because it is 3 a.m. Like, I just don't understand. But it's fine. It's all fine. Okay. So I I don't know. I know that I deal with guilt a lot. Now I wouldn't say a lot, but I feel it come up. But I've rehearsed things so much, and I understand the human body so much that it's like, okay, I know you want to be comfortable. All right, it's cool. Like I expect it. Like, oh hey, guilt. It's straight. No, it's good. No, we good. This is okay. This is what we need to be doing. Like, yep, we being vulnerable. Like, yep, we winging it. Whatever it is. Like, yep, we trying again. Like, yep, we trying after that. Like, up, we fell on our face. Yep, it's okay. Like, oh man, we forgot to answer that text. Up, it's okay. Like, whatever it is, right? And that guilt that come up. Mm-mm. Sometimes we feel guilt on loss. What we could have did better. What we should have could have did more. Right? No, no, child, no. We're not doing that. We're not doing that anymore. What we're doing now is holding ourselves accountable with compassion, right? Like, okay, I didn't do that thing. Well, there's today. Well, I didn't do it earlier. Oh, well, there's right now. And I'm going to hold myself to it. Or I'm going to get in environments where I'm constantly being surrounded by people that hold themselves to it so much that I hold myself to it. Like if everybody take off running, am I gonna stand here and look stupid? Whether like any environment, we on track and field, and everybody take off running, am I gonna be the last one? Like, nah, I've been shot. Like, what y'all doing? Like, I'm talking about the millionaires. If the millionaires run, right? Some people is like, okay, I don't know what they got going on. But you get what I'm saying? If you sometimes if you in the hood, if everybody take off running, 9 times out of 10, you are too. I don't know what's going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Once we stop and we get safe, what y'all running for? Just what? And then it be something dumb, you be mad, right? But if you with the people, I'm gonna little note for you. All right. If you with some people that are like-minded, it's all about the community you're in. If you're with some people that are like-minded about the growth that you want to have for yourself, right? Whatever that becoming is for you, then you will take off running too, 9 times out of 10. So it's like about getting your I want to say systems in place because that's what it has been for me. A lot of times, if I'm in loss, if I'm going through loss with any kind of distraction, anything that can distract me, right? Anything that can, because we get distracted, we use crutches, you know, we use these, what I call it, lower coping skills. Because it may not always be negative, but it's not of a higher frequency. And for me, I want the highest frequency. I want to be so close to the Most High. Like, I want Him to trust me. Like Victoria, like that's my dog type. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want that. I want to be human. Like, players. See, like players mess up. You feel me? Like, but I want to be so close that it's like, hey, my G, listen. Or it's like, oh, my G, like, soon as it happened, like, whatever it is, I want the awareness to be like, snap back. Like, what you mean? Like, I want it. I want that. And so to get that, I have to elevate, right? And then as I elevate, he start asking for stuff. He say, hey, I gave you this. I need you to come talk to my people. Who, me? I need you to put this thing together for me. Here, look, this is the vision of it. This is what I'm seeing. And then I see some stuff. Who? Me? Like, just, you want me to tell somebody or just, hey, what? I be in communities all the time. Hey, morning meetup. Just in the DMs, like, hey, just, right? He say, no, I need you to talk to him. No, be out in the open. Let's stop sliding in the DMs. I'm like, that's me though. Like, I'm a good room worker, right? Because I can get in there and work them one by one, two by two, three by three. All right. So now everybody know me, but I ain't meet them all together. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's like it's like reverse psychology with all eyes on me. Like I'm not on stage, but you feel me? They're my people. Just and he said, no, I need you to do more. I need you to serve. I need you to be of value. And I gotta be the change that I want to see. I want to see so much change. I gotta be that. I gotta be that. I gotta be out here. I gotta get out here getting this gym. I gotta get up early. I gotta go to bed late, and that's fine. I'm still getting sleep. What, you heard of a nap? What? Yeah. Oh, okay. Right. And then I gotta take rest. Sometimes my body need to rest. I slept till 12 p.m. today. Now, Brian, I ain't gonna sleep till like 4. But, you know, usually I go to sleep at 4, but I get up at like 8. Because I be trying to go to the morning meetup. But I get up at like 8. And I usually get into the morning meetup at like 8:12. And I started with my tea, and I created a system around the community. And then I started a community because I'm like, okay, I need to stay accountable, but I need somebody to be like there. I need somebody to be like noticing just what's going on. Like, hello, like tap in. Like let's build. Let's talk about these resources. Let's talk about the things that we want to develop. Let's actually do the thing, show the thing. Like we want to become, we all want to do something. We all got goals. Okay, let's cut the distraction. I need to see pictures. At the beginning of the week, we have to put in the weekly goals. That's week, quarter, year. We got to put in the goals. And then every week, this stuff need to be done. There need to be pictures of you at the gym. But the systems, the thing about Legacy Leap is that I help you get your systems in place. Because the thing about me is I like setting up systems. I don't like executing. I ain't even gonna hold you. That's why it's about accountability. Because I can give everybody, tell me what you do and create systems, create the standard operation, what you do every single day. I'm the queen of making a new system in a system. Why? Because I need to make this easier. This is not working for me, right? And I still want it to be operating at the same level that it was or better, but I need it to work for me. And so I just realized, or I just make, you know how if you work at a call center, they say, um, some people you if you type in the same notes all the time, you'll save your notes in a notepad for the day, or if it delete every night, or for the save the period if you got access to, you know what I'm saying, like that's standard operate. Like, what are you doing every single day? Right? So creating notes for that, creating systems for that, time in it. Have you ever read Atomic Habits, the book? And he talks about systems a lot in that, and how like you can I'm trying to think of the book. Just basically like detailed, very detailed. So when I make my systems, I create, and I can usually do it for mental things. It's the physical that I be like, I don't be holding myself accountable to that, because it's like me. Nobody gonna know if I don't go to the gym. So it's like, no, I need to do that. And so I started with fasting, and I be in the gym, in and out, in the gym, in and out. But I got a gym in my house, so I just be working out. And I've just been losing all this weight. Like, you see my collarbone? See, this shirt don't fit. That's why. But you see that? Okay, I ain't had that. Just how you doing? How you doing? I didn't have that. You gotta watch this, okay? But I didn't have that. I didn't have that. But seeing them results, that created a reinforcement in me. So it's a difference between rewards, which is like employee of the month, something everybody get doesn't necessarily match everybody's love language though. And then reinforcements, which and like I study like behavior analysis. So I self-study, but I also am getting a I'm going to be a registered behavior technician, basically. But I'm in the process of that. But I've been studying it, which has made me go for the technician thing. So basically, when you're looking at behaviors, you are you're wanting to reinforce something in yourself or another person, right? And so instead of the rewards, kind of like rewards, but instead of rewards, you want to individualize that. So what do I want? What do I like? Right? What is going to get me to the gym? I like seeing my collarbone. That's a reinforcement for me. I like seeing my shape come out, because at one point I thought I was flubber. So it was just like, okay, like, oh, you been in there the whole time. What you doing? Like, you know? So it's like creating a system of reinforcement. Okay, so if I do this, this, and this all week, I get this reinforcement on Monday. I love myself on Monday. I show myself love on Monday. I do something for me on Mondays, right? Because I want to make sure that I'm serving. I want to make sure that I'm giving. I want to make sure that I'm on the mission. I want to make sure that I'm growing and doing all the things, but I also want to slow down for me. And right now in the season that I'm in, I need to create the balance, right? Becoming the person, the life that I want to live, the person that I want to become. She take time for herself, not just on Mondays, baby. She take time for herself, okay? But there's a process of getting there, and I don't want to cheat the process. Now, I could do things and get there, but it not be on my own accord, and that doesn't sit right with my spirit. So I'd rather go through the trials and the tribulations. I'd rather go through um showing up, discipline, showing up, kind of there, showing up. Like, you feel me? Like, I'd rather do that than look at the data. Well, what do you need? What is the biggest problem? Systems. It's usually systems. Everything is system. Biochemical, everything is a system. So it's like, okay, well, what system do I need? Well, what don't I like? Marketing. I like it, but I don't like it. Okay, I like it when I want to like it, but it's like I need to put some discipline on I like it. But if you don't have no discipline on you like it, do you have a plan B? And so it's like, oh, plan B. That's what I need, a plan B. And I don't mean go, because That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about for systems. And I get that's probably a system too. And it definitely is, but that's a whole nother situation because if I willingly, now this is only for willingly, I'm not gonna get into this. But anyway, anyway, my point is systems is everything. And so I have to check myself and be accountable for the systems in my life. Where do I want my life to go? Well, do I have systems in place for it to go that way? I got a crook in my neck. Do I have my systems in place for my life to go that way? Right? I want to be a wife. Do do I have myself in order to be a wife? Do I have my boundaries in place? Or is somebody going to wife a completely different person? Like, are they going to wife um the lower frequency me, depressed me, angry me, grieving me? Like, what are they going to wife? So I have to be accountable of my healing, knowing when to heal. I wrote that down. How I heal, holistic healing. I really want things to be holistic. Like, there are so many things out here. Does that mean it's all for me? No. And God, I was talking to God the other day, and He was like, what was it, Lord? Everything, everything ain't for everybody, but there's a thing for everybody. Everything ain't for everybody, but everything has. Oh, everything ain't for everybody, but everything is for somebody. So you go, do you, try you, do your thing, put the thing out there, do the thing, whatever it is, say the thing, dance the way, sing it, whatever you got to do it because it may not be for everybody, but it is for somebody. Everything is for somebody. So he was telling me that, and so I just wanted to relay that message to you. But sometimes that can mean stay the way I am, or that can mean, well, what do I want? When I think about where I started dating late, but where did I start dating? Like, I didn't start dating where I needed the variation of who I am becoming. I didn't start dating there. I started dating at a variation where I saw myself. Like, oh, I'm from the hood, I'm comfortable here. Okay, boom. Like, no, but that's not where I see myself. I see so much more of that. So I dated a variation of somebody who, maybe isn't in their full form. I'm sure it's not in their full form, right? And so then I went through all these things with somebody that I picked in an environment where I knew the person that I wanted to be wouldn't usually be there. I wouldn't usually be there. Even in that space, I wasn't usually there. But I got distracted, right? And I didn't want to lose that loss because I'm out here living my best life. Like, I don't necessarily got no friends. Like, I got a small decimal. You feel me? I don't have no friends. And here you come, hey, right? And I hadn't worked in myself, and you making me feel loved, right? And I come from what's that? You feel me? So it trapped me like a web, and I got distracted. And then it was like, oh, there's loss, right? But what did I find? What did I find in all this? What do I find in these communities? What do I find? I find myself. I find people who can hold a mirror up to me. I find systems. I find information. I find things that I wouldn't find. The old variations of me wouldn't have found because she was not in the right community. She wasn't in the right environment. Like, if I tell people all the time in Legacy Leap, you have to process, you have to talk, you have to get it out. That's why having a connection with spirit is so important. But then also having a like-minded group, having professionals, having coaches, having somebody who can help you process and hold that mirror up to you so that you can be aware of where you are in the moment. So you don't have to wait in retrospect 10 months later, like, oh, what was I doing? Why did I even pick that? See, would have never, right? Instead, you can look at that in real time. Like, hold up, okay, right? But you got to be in the mindset for that. Sometimes we're in the mindset of being the teacher, and sometimes we're in the mindset of being the student. All of us, and we have to all be like that. Like, it's a time for me to be in community and learn, and it's a time for me to be in community and teach and learn. Because I learn from people too, everywhere. What? Just what happened? What? Or it sometimes stuff sound like another language to me. But I like that. It's like, oh, you know something I don't know. Tell me more. Like, I like that. I really like that. And I don't know what that is. Maybe that's because I like to teach. I don't know. I'm curious. But the other thing I wanted to tell you with finding yourself is to journal, to gather vision. Journal, speak like I'm doing now, move. You gain so much in yoga and movement and dance, working out, walking. You get so much like download, especially when you're out in nature. You get so much just the of higher frequency. It feels like I want to say, but I know that's kind of like a woo woo word, but I want it to be like you just feel lighter. You just start to feel like connected. I guess you know, but see, I gotta read the paper. Childlike energy. You do these things because it gets you back into your childlike energy, right? You get creative when you start to move and do these things, and you're just la la la, and you just doing whatever, and you just on autopilot, sometimes driving, and it just takes you somewhere else. And you're like, dang, how I get here? Because you was just in movement, like all of those different type of things where you can kind of meditate, right? You can paint and you can just go in, and it's just you and the thing, whatever the thing is. Sometimes it can that creativity, that is the gateway to your childlike energy. And so sometimes knowing self is to tap back into that. What does child like to do? Or what does child not know that child likes to do? Let's get back into that. Let's now as adults go do the thing that we never was able to do. Right? We are now able. That was the what? The so what? What? That was the first thing I thought about. It's like, what I, because it's almost like some of us don't go to college, right? And so when I moved to North Carolina, it was like, okay, I'm out. But if we stay in our life the whole time, sometimes we don't ever get that college feeling where, all right, we're not home now. I'm not a child anymore. And I'm not like just responsible, just thugging, grinding. Ugh. Like I'm not doing that either. Like, so what am I, I'm just in this energy of just creative and just mystical, doing whatever I couldn't do, right? So sometimes that could go off, but it just depends. Sometimes that can be right, but your morals got to be intact. So think about if you intentionally did that, if you intentionally started to live and started to seek finding yourself. What does child want to do that child didn't get to do? What was child afraid of that child needs to stand up to? You know, what were these things? Instead of us thinking that this is just it, this memory is just it, let's approach it from child's introspective. Is that the word? I be messing that up. From child's mind, but in adult's body. Let's go back to that place and see that there's a bigger picture, that we made it, that happened, and now all these things happen, right? That we have the power to tweak whatever happened in our brain. If there's power in that house where something happened to me, or there's power in that hospital where something happened to me, or there's power on that street where something happened to me, right? Because now I've overcome it and I have a story, right? And how many people have, I'm gonna use this metaphor, that same cancer, right? They have that same cancer that I had back then, but my story will release them. I don't know where that's coming from, but I guess this is God speaking through me. All right. So I am on this path of sharing my story more and explaining how I see the world, right? And just doing my part. And I hope to see you as well. Let me know what your story is. What is your mission? What do you think it is? What is your pain? Let's start with that, right? What would you want to fix? What I want to fix is the fact that a lot of my people um are just mentally broken, still very unhealed. You know, I'm out with these guys and they're telling me basically that if the girl don't devalue herself on purpose, then he gonna manipulate her till she do. Like, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. She said no. She said no like 10, 15 times, but I still end up fucking. I'm sorry, Lord, this is an example. This is not me. I repent. So I'm like, all right. Like, she said no, like that's rape, ain't it? And he like, nah. And men have told me this before, but I never got the visual like that. That girls be wanting you to keep asking. And that you'll talk to them and they'll be like, well, why you ain't ask harder? Like they're just playing the role. They didn't actually want it, right? But they wanted to feel accepted, right? And they know that sex plays. So yeah, they're gonna talk stuff on the phone, but they really don't want to do that. They don't want to give their flower away. Like they may not know, but they feel that is sacred, right? Unless they come from an environment where that sacredness was taken and it just turned into a manipulation tool. There's power in this. I want that. It's manipulation, but I'm not gonna give you nothing other than this. Like I'm not gonna nurture you or any extra activity that would come with that sacredness. I'm just gonna get this and like society went completely left. But think about the loss in that. To think about what somebody lost, what somebody was told so many times, how somebody got jaded so many times that they said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna flip that. And they found something in it and it became their power. Now, do I still wonder about the sacredness? It becomes a power, but to me, it has to be a power and it has to be a sacredness attached to it. It has to be a sacredness. It just has to be a sacredness attached. It has to be morals attached to it. It can't just be a power because that's narcissistic. It has to be a balance because we are power. We are powerful. Like I blow this whole joint. Like I don't know, but we are powerful. We are powerful. And so we gotta have boundaries with like everything else in life. There has to be some boundaries on what we do. We out here artificial everything, okay? And now people realizing that artificial ain't so good. But we got artificial intelligence about to come out. Like, we got to regain our power. We got to regain our power so that we can combat stuff like that. So that we can use what has hurt us. When Big Brother, when CVS or, whoever come through, the little companies that you work for, and they do little things. And it's like, dang, I can't do nothing because I'm little. We got to get back our power, get back our community so that we can build communities and build corporations and unicorns, black business unicorns and all kind of business unicorns. It doesn't have to be black owned. Like, it has to be, I want it to be black owned, excuse me. But it doesn't have to be just black people. It has to be, for me, the same mission, like the same ethics, the same morals. Like, I don't really care about your skin color. I'm just, chocolate. So I don't, other than that, it's like the morals. Like, where your head at though? Where your heart at? Right? Don't be telling me one thing and then be going back to the, like, you the spook by the door. I don't like that. Like, I don't like that, okay? And my, God, he be telling me you gotta be just, and sometimes you got, what I'm saying? Like, and that's not a threat or anything. I'm just saying, like, sometimes people overstep their boundaries and you have to use your power a little bit. Like, I feel like Will Smith used his power a little bit. Like, nobody's gonna okay, don't nobody care about your Academy Oscar. Don't nobody care. Like, I've done so many things, you can't take that from me. Right? Like, you can't ban me from YouTube, and, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm saying? It's not understanding your power. Sometimes you use it for a just reason, but that's a whole nother story because, like, it's more to that. But anyway, I hope that this was helpful. I'm looking at my notes like, you ain't say none of that. I didn't. But finding loss is about finding self. Finding awareness and loss is about finding yourself. Um, I think nutrition, connecting to self, and being human. Guilt, that part about guilt, being human. Here, see, I'm all over the place, okay? Don't even worry about it. But being human means allowing yourself to fail, allowing yourself to feel. Fail and feel. Know when to fail. Know when to feel in your failure. Like, don't just block it out. We block it out in our failure. It's like we sometimes we can't turn it on when we succeed. I say that in air quotations, right? So really being able to decipher when, okay, this is data. I need to see what I'm doing. I need to perfect my systems. And then understanding that I am human, having compassion for self. Like, okay, I didn't do that. All right, you're going to get it. Like, all right, we on the path. Like, let's go. I'm proud of you for trying. I'm proud of you for trying. Like, how often do we say that? We want to win or lose. I'm proud of you for trying. Let's talk about that middle. Right? I'm proud of you for trying, but keep trying. Don't stop. That don't mean, all right, I got that little recognition now, I'm good. Nah. You give that to yourself sometimes. Right? We give that to group members when we complete our goals. All right, let's get it. Next week. All right, what's your new goal? And then we roll right to something else. We do want to feel that. We want to bask in that for a moment, but it's a moment. It's now gone. The iPhone effect is what I call that. I don't know what iPhone we on. I got an 8 Plus. Okay. I'm finna upgrade though because she done had better days. I don't know. But right, we We just got to keep rolling sometimes. Sometimes we got to keep rolling. Something new is going to come out. Something better is going to come out all the time. And we keep that in mind. I want to say we'll thrive, but if we'll keep that in mind with ourselves, like, oh, I didn't get that, but something better gonna come. I'm gonna keep trying. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna keep trying. That's what I do. Like you look, I be looking at food sometimes, at least to myself, and it just be like, okay, but don't give up though. Like you're doing it. Like I know so many people that's not even doing it. Like this is part of the process. Continue the process. If this is what you got to do, continue the process. If you got to look stupid, continue the process. Okay, because that is what it's about, right? So it's making me better. I'm actually becoming who I want to be. I'm doing the things and getting the opportunities, getting the emails back. And you get what I'm saying, right? And nobody can take the respect away from you actually doing the work. So if you need help doing the work, becoming who you are destined to be, join me in my accountability group, Legacy Leap, Legacy Leaders, executing on awareness and prospering. We got this awareness. We had this loss. We've done these things. Now it's time to execute on that, create systems, right? And execute on that in every part of our life. We need resources. We have master classes. We meet every single day because it's important that we create a system that's going to help us thrive, right? If you haven't already, join me in the morning meetup. We need systems around. We need to have resources around. We need to have people around that are going to feed into us every single day, specifically and within entrepreneurship. I always want to learn something new, right? I'm always looking at something. I'm always trying to develop. There's so many little groups that I'm in, right? If you want to be in groups like me, check out the links in the bio. Join some groups. Let's build together. Let's grow together. Make sure you do some healing today. Peace and healing, y'all. I'm out.